Hi everyone, happy Saturday, aka the best day of the week, because we are back with another episode. I am so excited. We have a great show, great stories as always. I don't know what the weather is like where you guys are, but I walked my dog this morning and it was about 50 degrees. I was freezing my butt off, and normally when I walk her, I'm in like a tank top or t-shirt, and now I'm like having to organize all of my sweatshirts. I keep all of my sweatshirts folded and like on top of like my closet, and now I have to like go through all of them because sometimes I'll just throw them up there. That's like my one area of non-organization. So that's what I will be spending my day doing, because now it's getting cold. Apparently Florida is getting a cold front, which it's kind of a good thing because it feels more like the November, December months, but I'm not used to it and I wasn't prepared. So I'm kind of like, it's cold now. I need like a heated blanket or something. But yeah, we have a great show. Let's just go ahead and get right into all of the hot gossip, hot take, stories, and advice that will have you saying literally what? Okay guys, also I have to run something by you because I posted on my personal Instagram a few days ago. My husband and I did personal pizzas, and I am a firm, strong believer that pineapple does belong on pizza. And if you don't agree with that, you just don't have a very good palate. I'm just kidding. But I posted it and I was thinking, like, I feel like a majority of people don't mind it because it's just like that salty sweet. But I had doesn't belong on pizza won by like 52%. And then it does belong on pizza was 48%. And I was just in shock because I'm like, that's not a bad food combination. It's literally salty and sweet. Pizza's like one of the number one foods in America. Like, I genuinely don't understand how people don't think it belongs on pizza. And it's not even like you don't have to eat it, but like you can agree that it's not a weird thing. It's not a weird food combination. I don't know, but I wonder if there's an article or something online about like the comparison, or people who don't think certain things belong together. Like, do they have a pickier food palette, or do they just not, you know what I mean? It was just so interesting to me. Not that I'll hate anyone who said no to my poll, or if you don't agree with me, but I just like, it belongs on pizza. It tastes good. It's a great salty sweet combo. But I also like, I feel like my palate is I will eat literally anything. My favorite foods are literally raw oysters, sushi. Like, I feel like I eat a lot of things that most people wouldn't normally eat. So maybe it is a weird thing, pizza and pineapple, but I just don't think it's that weird of a food combo. And I can't believe it's such a big debate. And I didn't think that it would lose on my Instagram poll. I was shocked. I was literally shocked. And I don't know what you guys are doing. Anyway, that was just like, it blew my mind because I don't think it's that weird of a combo. And that's like how I eat all my pizzas. Like, anyway. And I texted like one of my best friends. She was like, doesn't belong on pizza. And I texted her and I was like, are you kidding me right now? Like, I thought we were best friends. And now I find this out about you. It was just funny. But anyway, enough about that. I know that's a debate that goes back, I'm sure, many, many years. But for today's episode, we are going to start off with the Dancing with the Stars recap first, and then finish out with all of our other amazing stories. And again, I do have timestamps in all of my descriptions and show notes. So if you don't watch Dancing with the Stars, or you just literally don't care what I have to say about the last episode, you can just scroll down and then skip to the first story, which will be about the Mike Tyson-Jake Paul fight. So let's just get into the Dancing with the Stars 500th episode recap. Overall, I expected way more from this episode because I feel like they hyped it up as it was the 500th episode. I thought they were going to bring out a ton of old pros, just have a lot of fun things going on, and it like sucked, honestly. And after halfway through the episode, once they did their main dances, I was like ready to go to bed, and I was just like over it. Overall, I think the instant dance challenge was so dumb. I think they shouldn't have hyped it up as much. That being said, we did get to see Sharna, who is one of my absolute favorite pros, but that was really the only one, unless I'm forgetting, but I'm pretty sure she's the only pro who was there who danced. And I'm sure there were more people in the audience, but I was just like expecting way more from it. That being said, the opening number was amazing. As always, their opening numbers are So good. And they always 4+4, which I might be too old to know that lingo, but what does 4+4 mean? That 8. It's so funny, as I'm like getting older in my 20s, there's so much more lingo that I'm trying to keep up with. And then I find myself Googling a lot of times what certain words mean. And that's, I think, the first sign that I'm no longer a 17-year-old girl who knows all the lingo. And it's kind of upsetting. But I do know 4+4. And half the time I only know this lingo because I'm literally Googling it. Anyway, all right, let's jump into the first dances of the night. So the first round, again, the partners were basically like redoing or recreating a dance from a previous season with a previous partnership. I don't know how they pick who does what. I'm sure the producers just kind of assign it as they want. And first up was Joey and Jenna. They did a contemporary to what Ryder and Allison did. When I tell you, I was captivated the entire time with this dance. And one thing about me is my attention span sucks. I literally did my college senior year project on attention spans, and it's impossible for me to sit and watch a show without like reading or being on my phone. Like, I need to go to therapy for that because like my attention span, it is no longer, it is dead. And so even when I'm watching Dancing with the Stars, it's hard for me if a dance isn't that exciting to like pay attention. And when I tell you, like, when I sit and watch a full dance through and I don't want it to end, that's how I know it was a good dance. And just overall, and I don't want to like crap on this season because I think this is one of the best casts we've had so far, social media wise, and just like the presence they have with their fans and like being really, just really great online. And just compared to other seasons, and I've been watching Dancing with the Stars for a long time, and I feel like this season we don't have a lot of dancers who have danced before. I think Chandler's really the only one who has dance experience. A lot of them, again, are athletes. And so I think just in general, the dances this season haven't wowed me. A lot of the choreography just isn't as good as I feel like it used to be. And that's when I took a step back and I was like, why am I feeling this way? I think it's because in the past we've had celebrities who have danced a lot before. Like Ryder, he's literally in a band where they sing and dance, and like, I don't know. So I'm trying to be positive about this season, but now that it's the semifinals and finals, I just feel like this season has kind of been a letdown just dance-wise and like choreography-wise. And I might be the only one who feels that way. And again, I know that Chandler is literally the only one who's danced before. So I hope next season we get maybe a few more celebrities who have had dance experience so that we can really see those really amazing dances. And I'll just be looking back at, on TikTok, they'll have a lot of dances pop up from previous seasons. And they were just so good. Even just like theming and stuff, it was just so much better. And the season's been kind of a letdown. That being said, I love the cast, and that's what I'll say about the season. And I won't talk about the season being bad the rest of the next 2 episodes, but I just had to get that out as my overall, analysis of this season and compared to other seasons. Okay, that being said, where was I going? I was off on a tangent. But Joey and Jenna, it captivated me. He has proved to be such an amazing dancer. He is just so smooth. He's so good. He learns really well, and he's done like pretty much every dance style and like crushed it. I don't really think he's had one bad dance at all. And then of course we get to the worst face you can see on the screen, Carrie Ann, and she just had to, I'm sure the audience was, clapping and having a great time. I'm sure everyone watching their TV was freaking out about how good that was. And she has to go and be like, you know what? I'm going to start being negative, because what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to be mean to everyone except the people that I was mean to 2 weeks ago. And that's going to make up for everything. So I'm just going to be unfair again, but try to make up for when I was unfair 2 weeks ago. I genuinely, I was fine with her 2 weeks ago giving some of her comments. But then but last episode, she was being so negative on the people who are great dancers, and I've had it with her. So if they want to get rid of her, I give them my blessing now. It's okay. She's just so annoying. And I literally wrote in my comments, I was like, if she gives Chandler all 10s and then is like being negative to everyone else, then she's just doing this all for show. But he ended up getting not all 3 9s. He got 2 9s and a 10. And of course, Derek disagreed with Carrie Ann in her comments. Go figure, because what is she on? I think it deserved all 10s because his contemporary was so beautiful. He didn't mess up. It was amazing. But whatever. It's fine. Okay, Danny and Whitney did a quick step to what Julianne and was it Helio did. I thought it was really fun, really good. I love their footwork. Whitney does really well with footwork, and Danny, obviously he's a football player, so I'm sure he's really good at, you know, they do all their training with their footwork and stuff. But the footwork was great. Choreography was amazing. Carrie Ann being annoying again. Like, I don't understand. I feel like she just, like, comes up with comments, like, out of her butt, like, saying Joey and Jenna, there wasn't any rawness. Like, what are you looking at? What do you want? I just don't understand. Whatever. But he ended up getting 3 9s. I would have been happy seeing some 10s. I think that he does really well. The footwork's amazing. Choreography's amazing. Like, it was fun. Whatever. Dwight and Daniela did an Argentine tango by James and Sharna. I'm going to say it. I loved what she did with her being up on that little stepping stool to be a little bit closer to his height. However, I was really bored, and it was genuinely just like her kind of dancing around him kind of thing. And I know their height and everything, but I didn't love the dance. And yeah, I don't know. But he got an 8 and 2 9s. It just didn't, I don't know, wasn't amazing. And just kind of, I think at this point, you know, when the choreography isn't up to par with some of the others, you know, but I love them. I love them. Riley and Steven did a waltz that Mark and Charlie did. Steven, I think, has shown the most growth just based off of not having danced before to where he is now. I've always said, like, his timing's been off, but he killed this dance. I think he, out of all of the people in the semifinals, has had the most growth. I'm just so proud of him. I'm proud of him and Riley. They look so good together. They have so much fun. And you can tell he really wants this and he really wants to learn. And I loved this dance so much. I also love the song Glimpse of Us. It was just so good. It was really pretty. Carrie Ann didn't give any negative comments. Go figure. But this, I was literally so pissed off because they got 2 10s. And once Carrie Ann gave a 10, I was like, okay, thank God he'll get all 10s. First perfect score. And Bruno has to give a freaking 9. Why? Literally, why? What? Let me see your scorecards. What did you even, why? I was so mad about that because I genuinely thought that dance deserved all 10s and to be the first 10s of the season because his growth has been amazing. And that was the perfect dance to get the first perfect score. But whatever. Okay, next is Chandler and Brandon. They did an Argentine tango that Derek and Kelly did. Carrie Ann is 1000% being a kiss up. I knew from the first dance she was going to do this because she probably looks online at all the hate comments she got, and is now just going to be fake, which is so annoying. I just don't understand. Like, she's just so annoying. I don't know. Anyway, they got all perfect scores as well. I'm pretty sure. I didn't write it down, but I'm pretty sure they did. But my thing is, like, I think Riley and Steve, like, to me, I don't think the Chandler and Brandon dance was better than Riley and Steven's, in my opinion. However, they're just, you know, good as always. Like, that's why it's so frustrating because she is clearly, like, the best dancer, but since she is the only dancer, like, I don't want her to win because, like, I want people who have improved. You know what I mean? I feel like I say that every week, but that's just how I feel. Alona and Alan, they did the quick step that Jordan and Lindsay did. Her footwork was amazing. I love the choreography. So much fun. And then they got a 10 and a 9 and a 9. I wish they got all 10s. Even though, like, she's not one of the stronger dancers, I still think they could have given her 3 10s. All right, then we move on to the challenge. I don't even really want to talk about it because I think this was the dumbest, stupidest thing they could have done. It was a waste of airtime. They could have done so many different things, and they chose to do this. Basically, if you didn't watch it, they gave them like 5 minutes to prepare a random dance to a song. They didn't know what style dance they were doing or what song they were doing it to. They had to change. It was just like so dumb. I don't know who came up with this. Another thing I wanted to bring up is there's a lot of speculation that Jen and Sasha are officially dating because he posted a selfie of both of them and it was like giving like a hard launch kind of vibe. They're posting a lot together, but I want to know what happened to like her and Jonathan because I feel like that was a whole thing. I don't know. Does anyone know what's going on? Maybe we'll find out something later, but I don't know. Yeah, So now we're getting into semifinals and then finals, which I'm genuinely in shock because I don't know who is going to go home. Because again, like this season, I feel like everyone is just doing so well with the social media presence that I'm sure it really is coming down to the votes. But we'll see. I'm just really nervous. But anyway. Alrighty, so let's get into our next story, which is the Mike Tyson-Jake Paul fight. Now, I want to preface it by saying I don't understand this sport. I never watch it. It makes my stomach hurt just seeing these grown men and women just punching each other for fun and bleeding. I don't understand it. I don't like it. But I watched it for you guys and also because I know who Mike Tyson is. I obviously know who Jake Paul is. And I wanted to see what would happen because I do think Jake Paul, while I know a lot of people don't like him, you know, he's good. You can't deny that. And so I was definitely intrigued because it was a cool concept, you know, seeing Mike Tyson. He's literally 58, very experienced. And you have Jake Paul, who I think is like 27, 28, maybe. So it was kind of like, I wanted to see what would happen. In the back of my head, when I knew it was going to be 8 rounds, my only thing was like, since Mike Tyson's older, he might get tired out kind of thing. But I was like, I don't really know. It could be like anyone's game. I don't know if they're going to like try to like rig it in a way so that like some person wins. But anyway, we'll get into all of that anyways. So Jake looked good. Mike Tyson also looked good. But again, I think it showed once they got in the ring that Jake Paul definitely is more young and ambitious and probably has a lot more stamina. And when he was like left hooking Mike Tyson, I was like, oh my, I just felt so bad. Like I literally felt so bad. And overall, at the end of the day, they got through all 8 rounds. At the end of the last round, Jake Paul was like bowing down to him. And I liked how it ended. At the end of the day, it's these 2 men. They're both making millions of dollars off of this. And I'm sure, you know, I don't necessarily think it was staged at all. But I do think that there was maybe some talk about like, let's let it go all 8 rounds. Let's also not, because in my head, I was like, Jake, like it was so boring. I feel like Jake Paul could have like really just gone on him. I was kind of hoping like at the last round, Mike Tyson would just like all of a sudden knock him out. I don't know. I was expecting a lot. It was kind of boring. But my stomach hurt afterwards because I just don't like seeing people like literally punch each other. I don't understand. But I'm glad it ended in a very wholesome way, even though I thought it was starting at 8 and, you know, it keeps going by and the time's going by and more people are fighting. And I'm just sitting there like, I just drank my melatonin tea. Like I need to get into bed. So we ended up going, upstairs, put the TV on up there still, and then it was like 30 more minutes and I'm like, but I did stay up. That was a crazy amount of time for us to wait, genuinely. Also, can we talk about the fact that Jake Paul's like boxers or whatever were like $1 million in bedazzled? That was kind of crazy, low key. Also, Netflix, I don't think they expected that much traffic because it was buffering every 5 seconds. But again, if you're getting a girl like me to watch a fight like that, you should be prepared that there's going to be a lot of people trying to watch this. But yeah, overall, glad I watched it. I loved how they ended it. I love that no one got knocked out. And we'll see who Jake Paul ends up fighting next and if Mike Tyson's going to fight again. But like, he's literally 58 years old and he trained just to do this. Like, that's crazy and good for him. But he's also was really scary looking. Like, I would not want to be in the same room as him. Next story, we have a little update to the Outer Banks feud drama because I think when I talked about it last week, obviously they killed off JJ. Spoiler alert, sorry, but if you haven't seen it by now, sorry. And so, you know, there was speculation about what happened. Turns out Rudy, who plays JJ, he asked to leave the show. It was very sudden. The producers were not expecting that to happen, and the writers didn't plan for it to happen. And he basically didn't want to renew, and so the writers just ended up killing him off. So why did this happen? Why did he want to be off the show? And there's been a lot of rumors about Madison and Rudy just kind of like arguing and having issues with each other, who are JJ and Kiara in the show. And this was even more amplified when in the show this past season, there is clearly stunt doubles in place of when JJ and Kiara should be hugging, or when he has his arm around her, you can clearly tell it's a stunt double. And so that's like, oh, so these people can't even be professionals and act together in a show that they're cast on when you have Chase Stokes and Madeline Klein making it work. Like, how can you not be professional? That was just insane to me. And then I was deep diving a little bit more. And supposedly they had a cast dinner last year. And this, I mean, we've seen this cast for years. They're very close. They do everything together. Like, they're very tight. And so there was a cast dinner, and Rudy and his girlfriend were there. Kiara and her girlfriend were there. And then after the dinner, both Kiara and her girlfriend supposedly unfollowed Rudy's girlfriend because the girlfriend's been threatened because Rudy and Madison had a thing when the show was first starting up. We don't know if they were dating. They definitely were hooking up, though, and apparently, like, that's supposedly what was fueling the fire is Rudy's girlfriend didn't like how close they were, and like a whole thing. And we, again, don't know exactly what's going on. They're saying online, you know, there's no feud between these two, and like there clearly is. I don't think it was smart, though, for his career, because who's going to want to hire him when he literally asked to be off a show? You know what I mean? So I don't think that was smart on his part. But this was just interesting, seeing all the different like rumors and pieces being put together. And I just don't get why they couldn't be more professional. Because if Madeline and Chase can do it, anyone can do it. You know what I'm saying? Crazy. Alrighty, our next story is the Sexiest Man Alive 2024. You guys, I was so happy when I saw this outcome because we all know I'm obsessed with The Office, and I'm not going to tell you yet, okay? Because we're going to read this article first about how they picked the Sexiest Man Alive, but I definitely gave you a big hint. But basically, Sexiest Man Alive was launched by People in 1985, and Mel Gibson was the first winner. And so then every year they pick someone to be the sexiest man for that specific year. So supposedly they consult people. They have different focus groups. They also just look at general conversation on social media, who's being talked about. You know, they look in comment sections about what people are loving that year. They also ask female celebrities their stance on things, like who would their vote be for Sexiest Man Alive, and basically just gather a lot of info. But ultimately it's the People editors who decide who will be the Sexiest Man Alive. Now, supposedly this year they did ask Glenn Powell to be Sexiest Man Alive, like begging him, and he turned it down, which he's been very, very popular, so I wouldn't have been surprised if he ended up being Sexiest Man, but apparently he turned it down. And so the winner was John Krasinski. I know there's probably people who are like back and forth. I think conventionally, like, he's a very attractive man. He's loved by a lot of people, married to Emily Blunt. Like, I think it was a great choice for Sexiest Man. I feel like the only reason people would kind of be confused is because maybe he's not as relevant right now, which I don't necessarily think you have to pick someone who's relevant. I just think, like, Patrick Dempsey, when he was like, it's not like he was in a ton of movies that year. I think it's just overall, you know, who are people talking about? Who do people love? And I think that John Krasinski was a great candidate. Obviously, I'm biased because I know him and, like, love him, and, like, he's playing on my TV downstairs right now. But I didn't see too much backlash. But I think that people knowing that Glenn Powell was asked first and denied, I think it makes a little bit more sense because that would have been a great choice as well. There was a lot of talk, though, about Selena Gomez's boyfriend, Benny Blanco. Because apparently he was shortlisted. That would have been a crazy, like, winner, though. Like, that would have been really funny. That would have gotten the internet up in arms. I could have seen Jeremy Allen White get it. But I think that just, like, looking, like, conventionally, like, if you look at who's won in the past, like, John Krasinski was a great pick and a great choice. So that is who the Sexiest Man Alive 2024 was. And then again, I mean, it's not just on looks. I mean, it is. But, you know, people were saying, like, you know, it can also be someone who's being very active. Like when Michael B. Jordan won, he was being very active in Black Lives Matter, campaigning for women's rights. And then, you know, also being a sexy man. So I think in general, yes, it's the looks, but also like maybe they did something crazy that year. Maybe they did something, I don't know. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it comes down to looks. Let's be real. Let's not be naive here. Alrighty, next story. Blake Shelton announces a new singing competition after leaving The Voice. So, Blake Shelton and then the creator of Yellowstone, they are teaming up for a new singing competition called The Road. So, basically, they are going to be following a headlining superstar who we don't know who it is yet. This is going to be more of like a docu-series. I guess not so much like a competition show. And they're just going to be going on a journey to discover the next big artist. It's going to offer a backstage pass into the gritty and unforgiving life of a touring artist. With exclusive access to behind-the-scenes workings of the music industry, the series will show what happens when some of the best up-and-coming performers pile into a tour bus and tackle a grueling schedule in pursuit of their dreams. I personally love this idea. We all know I love behind-the-scenes things, and I think this is going to be really cool seeing what happens like on tour, because to us, we see these singers and are like, oh my gosh, like they have so much money, they have all these fans just performing, but there's the, you know, downside of they're literally stuck on a tour bus, tired, you know, cramped in a small space. Like, I was listening to one of Tana's, Tana Mojo. She was on a tour bus for her show with Brooke, and she was like, if you have to go number 2, you literally have to have your bus driver stop so you can get off and go to the bathroom. And it was like 3 a.m. and I literally had to make him stop. And he knows what it's for because you can pee on the bus. It was just funny. But I think this is a part of like being a celebrity that we don't really think about, is like they're stuck on a tour bus. You know what I mean? Obviously not if you're Taylor Swift, but I just thought this was going to be really, really cool and a cool insight. I'm assuming just based off of this, surely they're going to pick a country singer, right? Because it's Blake Shelton. But basically, on the show, musicians, they will join the headliner on tour, performing as opening acts at venues throughout the country, and then compete to win over local fan bases to land a spot in the next city and remain on tour. So that, I mean, it seems pretty cool. I don't know exactly how it's going to play out, but I want to know who's going to be the main headliner. I hope it's someone I know. Don't be Zach Bryan, you idiots. That, can you imagine? Oh my gosh, that'd be crazy. But yes, I will keep you guys updated on who they end up picking. But comment below who you think would be a good headliner to follow and who you would want to see touring and behind the scenes looks at what really goes on when they're not on stage touring. Okay, next story. This story, oh my gosh, I've been so excited to talk about this because this scandal has been unfolding and then unfolding and unfolding and unfolding. And it's about a couple women who we have talked about before, and they have found themselves in another scandal. Now, at this point, I'm thinking, are they just getting into these scandals for more like publicity or like views? Because this is so crazy. I don't know if you've heard of it. If you're on TikTok, you probably have. But it is Cecily Samantha Bachman who came out with a For the Mems pajama line, and it is blown up in their faces, and I can't get off pajama TikTok. It's like everywhere. Just so many more things are coming out, and it's so funny, and I had to talk to you guys about it because we love to gossip on this podcast. Sorry about it. So basically, it's these two sister-in-laws. They both married brothers. They have millions of followers on TikTok, blah, 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 blah. And so they've been hyping up this big launch that they're doing, and ended up being a pajama company, which is just matching PJs for everyone. That was what it was saying. It's like to make memories with your family and for everyone, okay? So people were obviously very excited. And just before I say anything, in your head, when you see this company being launched and it being matching pajamas for everyone, for the family, to make memories together, like in your head, what would you pay for a PJ set? Okay, so let's just get that number in our head. And then I'm going to tell you what the prices were on the website when it launched. $98 for a women's set. $78, not for a men's set, for a men's pair of joggers, and then an additional $38 for the matching shirt, which is like what, $116? $58 for a toddler onesie, and $58 for a matching set for a boy or girl. Which when people saw this, immediately running to the comments, freaking out, like, this is so expensive. Why would you have marketed it to everyone? Blah, blah, blah. So then they turned off comments. Eventually the next day came out with a video with both of them sitting down and talking, and just said that they changed some of the pricing. So instead of $98 for a women's set, it's $75. The men's shirt, toddlers, boy and girl sets all stayed the same, but they did lower the joggers down to $60. And still people are just giving them so much more hate. You know, people can't afford that in this economy. And I know that there are so many, not just PJs, but just in general, expensive clothing items out there. And that's not the issue. The issue is how they were marketing it, and also their audience. Their audience is literally younger people and just the average American with a family of 5. Like, a family of 5 can't spend $100 on matching PJs. So the other issue is the material of the clothing. So first of all, whoever did the photo shoot for this company needed to be fired. I'm sure it was one of them, because there were hairs on some of the pictures. There were wrinkles everywhere. And then you could see on the t-shirt, they forgot to take off the Comfort Colors tag. If you don't know about Comfort Colors, you can buy them retail for like $7, and if you buy them wholesale, probably like $5. You can find Comfort Colors at like the Dollar General, and that was just generally crazy, because also on their apology video, they basically said, like, we're not making profit on this. First of all, based on the materials, clearly you are. Second of all, when you're starting a business, you don't expect to turn and like make profit right away. Even I know that, and I'm not smart with money and like businesses at all. So then a lot more came out that someone guessed the password for some website of their like admin whatever, and the password was literally the name of the company, For the Mems, which just kind of like I think that should show a little bit of like, I think these people just kind of rushed to get it together. And then, you know, they just kind of found out the material is just not great. And, you know, in the description it said that they shrink, so always size up. If you refund it, you can only get a refund back to the store. So like, if you're buying these PJs, you're getting the PJs. They're not refunding your money back. Also, there was no sizing chart, and literally it just said in the description, like, size up because it shrinks. Just crazy, crazy stuff. And so I think just in general, how they handled the whole situation was crazy. And obviously people were making videos of this right away. And one creator in particular, who has like over 4 million followers, made a video about it, saying like she's going to order them, test them out. Her order mysteriously got canceled, and she got an email saying like, what did it say? It was like, your order has been canceled because of unforeseen circumstances. And literally they canceled it. So she posted a video about it, obviously. And then one of the moms who, you know, made the company commented back basically saying like, well, we heard like on Reddit that you were going to like say it was a bad product anyways. And like, I didn't even know who you were genuinely. So like, we just decided to like cancel it because this is like defamation and like a crime what you're doing. Hello? So that just to me gave mean girl energy. Like, you clearly know who she was. That's why you're canceling, because she had 4 million followers. Just that was the latest saga, which I think made them look way worse. And then supposedly the company just in general, they were going to do drop shipping, which basically proved that they were kind of just using this as a money grab and to kind of let TikTok do all the work for them, because basically what drop shipping is. So when you went onto the site, you can add like, you know, a set to your cart, and then it would like X out at like 16 pairs, and it's like, so there's only 16 in stock, which meant like they're drop shipping. So I looked it up, and it's basically like when a customer places an order, the seller will then forward the order to a third-party supplier, then like a manufacturer, wholesale, whatever, will ship it to the customer. So like the two sisters, they're not really doing anything, kind of, you know, And it was kind of proven because there was like not a lot of stock on the website. So just overall, this whole scandal I think was just so funny. They went about it totally the wrong way. And I took a lot of public relations classes, and I would have handled this way differently. I think how they responded to the backlash was awful. I think if they marketed it to a different, like, they know who their audience is, or it's number one of if you're starting a business or want to sell something, like, who is your audience? Who are you trying to sell it to? Because I guarantee half, if not more than half, your audience is not going to want to spend hundreds of dollars on PJs. And then just to like cancel orders, and like, it just seemed like they just put this out there really quickly. And if you follow them at all, you know that the husband got fired from being a pastor at their church. And so maybe they were doing it for the money. Maybe they're trying to start a clothing line, and this was their first like way of starting it. It just like rubbed me the wrong way, especially like her DMing the other TikToker being like, I didn't even know who you were, but like, this is like illegal what you're gonna do, like defamation. It just gave me Mean Girl vibes, and I just can't stand influencers who are so out of touch. And like, if you can look into, like, these people make so much money on TikTok, and it's like, just because you can buy $100 PJs doesn't mean that like your followers can. It just like, anyway, that was the whole thing. I'm sure they're just gonna ignore it and, you know, get into their scandal later on, but that's the latest with them. And if you remember from a few episodes back, they were the ones who went to Disney when the hurricane was hitting Florida. Like, they're just out of touch, clearly. So now our last story, we're going to talk about a TikToker who, they don't seem out of touch. They seem like very nice people, and I love watching them. But it is TikToker PUCKETT. She gave birth. And I love this couple. They're just like the cutest. I don't know if they started the whole Pookie trend. First of all, I hate that word. Like, don't call me Pookie, please. And I never have called anyone that. But when they do it, it's cute because they're cute. They're just like a married couple. Like, let them be. And so everyone's been waiting for her to give birth. She gave birth. They posted, but they didn't say the name of the child yet. Someone in her close circle posted the name of the baby on Reddit, and it was basically like a group text of her sending a picture of the baby and saying like the name. And then you could see it looked like a man's thumb. It almost looked like her dad or grandpa or someone was holding the phone. Someone took a picture of the conversation, then uploaded it to Reddit. You can find it, I'm sure. And leaked the name. And I thought that was so awful. And like, why would you do that? But the name is Paloma Campbell Puckett. Paloma means dove, and it symbolizes love, peace, purity, and faith. Also, if you've seen her like pictures after she gave birth, like, she looked amazing and she just gave birth. That's like, if I ever have a kid, like, I will be the one who has my hair curled and makeup on. Sorry, because I'm already gonna probably be like swollen. Like, I don't want to have, you know, I'm gonna look somewhat good, but she looked amazing. I also love when people name their kids like a name that means a lot. I love looking at the meanings of names, and it's just so cool seeing like how people pick out their names. Apparently, though, they said like in the caption that she was conceived in Italy, and I was like, I don't think you need to tell your followers that. I just like, that was so funny to me that they put that in like the birth caption. Like, I don't think we needed to know where she was conceived, but thank you for that insight. So yeah, that was that. But just so cute, so happy for them. And he was so meant to be a girl dad. Like, if you've watched their videos, like, definitely meant to be a girl dad. And yeah, whenever she is old and like dating, I'm sure it's gonna have to be a very special guy to compete with Mr. Puckett, if you've seen their videos. But anyways, those are all the stories we had today. I'm trying to think of what else. I was going to talk about Megan Fox being pregnant, but like, there's not really much to say about that. And like, low-key, I didn't even think her and MGK were still together. They all just like creep me out, like the whole like blood thing. Like, I don't know. But she's pregnant again. I didn't even know she had kids before. Like, I feel like there's so many celebrities that I don't even know have children, which I guess is a good thing that they're keeping them like kind of private. But that was just, it was kind of like, what? I didn't know that. Oh my gosh. Also, my head's all over the place, but Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, obviously, the whole swig dirty soda thing is so popular. And we don't have a swig here in Florida. I think we might, like, in Orlando area, but we went to Sonic because I was like, I want to try a dirty soda because I'm seeing everyone make it on TikTok, and like, I just want to try it because I think it'll be so good. So I got a Diet Dr. Pepper, and I just hit you can press the button that says like dirty soda, and I think it's lime, coconut, and creamer. Guys, that is not good. It was not good. And maybe it's because I don't love coconut flavor and like lime. Maybe I should have added like just creamer and then like cherry, or like maybe something else with a different flavor, because I know at the Swig stores there's like a ton of different flavors you can get. But the original like lime and coconut, not good at all. Yeah. I just thought about that because I was like, I'm going to try it and be like everyone else who's like trying these dirty sodas. Was not for me. Maybe a different flavor. But anyways, that is all we have to talk about today. I cannot believe it's literally half into November. We go to New York next month, and I'm like so excited, but it's like coming up so fast because, well, first of all, I'm trying to like plan out our itinerary and like everything for New York. But then it's like, well, first we have Thanksgiving, and then we have New York. And it's like these next couple months are going to be so crazy. But we can do it. You guys can do it. We can get through the holidays. And remember, this is the time for us to just like relax and like hibernate and better ourselves and just like enjoy the quieter, darker times and moments, you know? But yeah, I think that's everything. I love you guys so much. Again, if you're not following the Instagram, go follow. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple, give us a 5 little star because it helps out so much. And yeah, love you guys so much. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week for some more hot gossip, hot takes, stories, and advice that will have you saying literally what? Bye, guys.